Nowhere in the scripture does it say you can't own slaves.
It is not inherently bad to own the slaves there. I mean, there are.
Okay, hold on. No,
treating them well.
No, okay, hold on. Wait. No, now we got to talk about that. Through empiricism, you can come to the best conclusion of whether or not something is harmful or not, which is the closest, I think, to objectivity that we as humans can get. The principle then is, if it's not in the scripture, if nothing in the scripture prohibits you, you're allowed to do it.
Mm-hmm. I think I know where you might be going with this, but yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so I would say, and I mean, you might be right, I would say that the problem that creates is that nowhere in the scripture does it say you can't own slaves.
Yeah, well, that's because I got to be a little bit more honest here. It is not inherently bad to own the slaves there. I mean, there are.
Okay, hold on. No,
treating them well.
No, okay, hold on. Wait. No, now we got to talk about that.
No, yeah, we're going to talk about that. But wait a minute. Of course, there are scriptures about not mistreating them, but slavery itself, no, it's not condemned. Yeah.
Okay, you don't think it's inherently bad to own another individual as property?
Yes, I do, but that is. Do you think there is something inherently bad without a religion or without a higher moral system?
Yes.
And what would you base that on?
I would base it off empiricism, off of outcomes, off of harm reduction, off of shared human values.
Yeah, but I see this argument of harm reduction often, like saying, like, if you harm someone, that's bad. But that's not necessarily true. Like across all human societies, from the Stone Age to
right,
ones,
which is why I would add it.
If you harm someone, if you harm someone, oftentimes yes, that creates more harm for them, but that creates more benefits for you.
No, and also it's the conjunct of outcomes and harm, right? Where we're going to weigh the outcomes, the totality of outcomes when these things have been done, the harm that these actions might cause, what our shared human values might be. And that's where we can come to a grounding of what is right or wrong. Yeah,
that's totally fine, but that's subjective. That is always subjective.
Sure, I think morality is subjective.
Oh, okay. Then there's an argument there. We'll agree.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't. So my thing is, we were talking about like slavery. I think that you think that it's not inherently bad.
Well, I do, but I gotta say, yes, the Bible itself does not say it so explicitly, no.
So, okay. Wait, so.
Yeah, sorry. It's kind of complicated for me to explain, but yeah.
I'm so confused. So you think that slavery is bad, always?
Yeah, I would not enslave a human.
Do you think that God is all good?
Yeah. However, to understand this again, to define all good, you have to have some base morality system, which is your subjective one again.
Right.
God goes and orders some people in the Old Testament to kill another people and massacre them. You got to say, how can he be all good when he does that? Well, you do not get to decide what is actually good or bad because you're outside of that.
No, I do get to decide it, and that's like a weird argument. Like, morality is what morality is.
What I'm saying is,
it's not
for you to judge that. For you to judge those actions, you still have to have your own subjective moral view.
Everyone has a subjective moral view, right? It's about grounding it in empiricism to come to a conclusion, right? It's like the scientific method.
It's still completely subjective. Like it's nothing based on actual something.
In the way that everything is subjective, sure, right? But you can still come to a conclusion that is understood, that we could ground in empiricism, and that we could then make more so objective, which is, I think, better than saying, well, God said it, so now it's objective. And if you don't think that God makes your morality, then you can't judge anything, even though that morality is still subjective. It's just God is the subject, so it's subjective to God.
Well, I'm not saying you can't judge anything. I'm just saying whatever judgment you oppose on Christianity or whatever else religion, that will be your personal opinion. You will never be able to say, hey, that was objectively bad. No, never.
So then no one can judge anything ever?
They can, but they need to have their own subjective morality or some kind of higher system if they base themselves on a religion.
So you're saying that, so you're thinking that people who derive their morals from religion have a system in which allows them more objectivity?
No, that would actually be subjectivity, because in that case, you're basing yourself off from God. And so the case where people, there's no true objectivity outside of that, is what I'm saying.
Sure, I guess. I don't agree with your conclusion. I think that there is a way to ground morality and empiricism to come to a conclusion that is not subjective, that is outside of yourself.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think, even if you put in like your points there saying, okay, we know humans suffer, so we don't want more humans to suffer, so therefore let's prevent suffering. Well, yeah, all that is still subjective. There's nothing objective there.
No, it's what so what do you like what does objective mean to you?
Objective would be that you can say this is universally true always.
Yes. So if something is if something is objective, it is true outside of self, right? It is true regardless of the
Yeah.
person, right? So there
Yeah.
are things that are objectively true. You can then through empiricism, you can come to the best conclusion of whether or not something is harmful or not, which is the closest I think to objectivity that we as humans can get. And I think when you're
Yeah,
so
maybe you can say you can get
I
close
think
to
when you're
it, but
I
nothing
think
is
when you're
definitive.
judging something, that's what you should aim for because I don't think objectivity is ever possible.